Hello and welcome everyone. Spider-Man taking on Iron Man is not something one would imagine. Since in the MCU, Tony has basically been Peter Parker's father figure, and with Iron Man no longer being a part of MCU as Tony sacrificed himself in Avengers Endgame, we might not see Spider-Man versus Iron Man in the MCU for a very long time. So in this video, we are going to go over who would be the last man standing if these two superheroes were to go against one another. But before we get started, don't forget to like and subscribe. And with that out of the way, let's get started with the video.
Big man in a suit of armor. Take that off, what are you?
Genius, billionaire, playboy, philanthropist.
Let's start with Iron Man. Tony Stark possesses powered armor that gives him superhuman strength and durability, flight, and an array of weapons. And one might say it's this suit of armor that makes Tony the Iron Man. Well, that would be partly true. There's much more to Tony than the fancy armor. The weapon systems of the suit have been custom designed by Tony himself, and they have changed over the years, but Iron Man's standard offensive weapons have always been the repulsor rays that are fired from the palms of his gauntlets. Other weapons built into his armor include the uni-beam projector in the chest, pulse bolts that pick up kinetic energy along the way, so the farther they travel, the harder they hit. In addition to the general armor that Tony uses most of the time, Stark has also developed several specialized suits for special purposes like space travel, deep-sea diving, and stealth. Furthermore, Stark has more modified suits, like the Hulkbuster armor and God Killer armor. The Hulkbuster is composed of add-ons to his so-called modular armor, designed to enhance its strength and durability enough to engage with possibly the strongest Avenger, that is the Hulk. And we have already seen this play out in MCU too, way back in Avengers Age of Ultron. And let's not forget this Extremis armor, a version of which we see again in Avengers Infinity War and Endgame. This armor favors lighter designs and technopathically controlled by his own brain. And this armor was not only durable enough to take on Thanos with 4 Infinity Stones but also capable of holding all 6 Infinity Stones and performing the snap. But all those armors aside, Tony is still pretty much the inventive genius whose expertise in the fields of mathematics, physics, chemistry, and computer science rivals that of Reed Richards, Hank Pym, and Bruce Banner, and his expertise in electrical engineering and mechanical engineering surpasses even theirs. He is regarded as one of the most intelligent characters in the Marvel Universe, and his expertise extends to his ingenuity in dealing with difficult situations, such as difficult foes and death traps. So now the question is, how does Peter Parker's Spider-Man stack against Tony Stark's Iron Man?
You have a metal arm? That is awesome, dude!
Well, just like Tony, Peter's most pronounced human abilities are his intelligence and his resourcefulness, and this is all augmented by his superhuman abilities gained from being bitten by a radioactive spider. After which, Peter Parker gained a lot of spider-like abilities, such as wall crawling, the ability to shoot webs from his body, an enhanced immune system, and his famous spider sense, used to detect approaching danger. But, along with that, he has gained superhuman strength, speed, stamina, agility, and durability, along with a very specific healing factor. So it goes without saying that Peter Parker has superhuman strength which Tony lacks without the suit. But Spider-Man's strength has been the topic of much debate since he is usually perceived as weak, as he also has a very slim body type. Yet, Spider-Man can, without any additional enhancements, lift an amazing 10 tons. This has been proven in comics repeatedly, and we have also seen the same in MCU too, especially in Spider-Man Homecoming. And on top of that, if we include his suit, be it one made by Tony or the nano suit, it only further enhances Spider-Man's capabilities. So now the question is, who would win in a head-on fight? Considering Tony has his nanobot suit and so does Peter Parker. Well, Iron Man's biggest strength is also his biggest weakness. Yes, I am talking about his suits, as he is completely dependent on them, at least in a head-on battle. While Spider-Man's powers are as they are, regardless of the circumstances, the suits only provide him extra add-ons. And this is what influenced our answer for the most part. Iron Man and Spider-Man are both good guys, and we're lucky that they don't really fight against each other, despite the fact that they have done it several times in the past. Without his suit, Iron Man stands absolutely no chance against Spider-Man, but the situation is a bit more complex, and not fully unclear when the suit is taken into consideration. Iron Man definitely has more than one special suit with which can defeat Spider-Man. The range of Iron Man's powers can go far beyond Spider-Man's, and in that aspect, what does tell us? Well, Spider-Man has a big advantage on his side that he doesn't need to rely on a suit. And sure, he cannot defeat Iron Man's most powerful armors, but he can slowly chip away and damage or weaken it. Also, considering Peter's intelligence, he can use it and his agility to dodge Iron Man's attacks, and then figure out a way to disable the suit somehow, making Tony Stark completely vulnerable to his attacks. In that aspect, Spider-Man has the upper hand in a direct clash, and we have already seen this in the comics during the Civil War event, where we see Tony Stark overpower Spider-Man. But when both suits ended up being destroyed, it was Spider-Man that had the upper hand. In addition to that, Spider-Man has consistently fought much tougher foes, both physically and mentally, than Iron Man, when we take their solo adventures into consideration, and seeing how he managed to defeat the likes of Kingpin, Rhino, Lizard, and Venom, we are quite certain that he would also be able to defeat Iron Man in some way. But it goes without saying it would be one of his hardest battles yet. And with that, we will bring this video to an end. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.